REWAISE project, we are actually developing 3 different concepts. One is the rainwater harvesting, and one is nutrient retention used in urine sorting toilets, and the ICU utilization actually. And the third one is to develop a digital twin to actually be able to evaluate water consumption within our living lab of Skåne Park.
Good, obviously politicians have their own environment, their own decision-making processes, and are not always connected to the technical issues that we develop. And we see that often as a problem. How do we transfer technical knowledge into the political arena so that the citizens can understand and adopt it?
One of the most important things with the rainwater harvesting is to actually include the stakeholders very early in the process. And that's why we are also working very tight together with the city of Malmö and the city of Lund. Because in the planning process of newly developed areas, you need to discuss this reconstruction of infrastructure really early. So we are in the project, we are working with developers, real estate, and actually citizens in how to be able to implement the rainwater harvesting techniques and concept.
We have a long tradition of working with our customers, and I think this stems from our sort of tradition. We were early on with commodities for home appliances, and I think we discussed today IKEA when we walked around. And I think it's part of our tradition that we try to look into the everyday life and help out there.
The car park of Skåne Park is designed to minimize the climate impact from the building process. The facades of the car park will become vertical gardens. There are 166 flower pots made of curtain steel that will cover the facades. When planning these facades, we were a bit hesitant about the amount of fresh water that would be needed for irrigating the plants. So we did a bit of calculation, and it turned out that on a yearly basis, the vertical gardens actually needed even more water than that. So we talked to our local water utility company, REWAISE Syd, and they agreed on doing something absolutely unique, delivering some of their water from their stormwater pipes to our car park. When calculating a little bit more, we realized that collecting the water wouldn't be enough. We would need to store the water as well. So we decided to put a 100 cubic meter rainwater reservoir below the car park. The rainwater reservoir is constructed by 237 pluvial cubes that are covered in welded rubber sheet. And the water in the rainwater reservoir will be pumped up and distributed to each of the flower pots to irrigate the plants. When the reservoir is filled with water, it is calculated to last 8 days without precipitation during the summer months. We at Parkering Malmö were very happy to be part of the REWAISE project. We're very happy to be able to try this solution, and hopefully, if it's successful, I hope that we can scale it up to other car parks in Malmö and even to other types of building in all of Europe.
Basically what we are doing here is we're taking water from the rainwater pond to my left-hand side into this container where we have a membrane unit. And in the membrane unit, we're filtering the water, the rainwater, through membrane filters like this. This filter is doing separation on a micro to nano scale. So we retain actually particles, suspended solids, bacteria and microplastics. And the water we get out of these filters we can use then for other purposes, for example, to water our gardens or to wash our cars. So we hope in the future we can install this type of technology all over Lund, Malmö, and finally over Sweden and the rest of the world to really recover rainwater for high valuable purposes.
We have been testing the techniques of membrane filtration of rain and stormwater, so we have kind of that proof of concept. But the next step is actually to implement this in housing and how to be able to reuse rain and stormwater for toilet flushing, washing machines, and maybe even more advanced areas. And I think one of the solutions that you will need to look at is actually the type of quality that would be needed for a specific purpose. So we don't want to use drinking water quality for toilet flushing if it's not necessary, but maybe we need to actually have a little better quality if we want to use it for washing machines, because there we could have an issue with, for example, metals or other micro pollutants. And for the next step also, if we want to use it for showers, then we need to maybe have even a more or even a higher quality of this water. So it's important to emphasize that we want to have the best quality for the best purpose at the best areas.
We convert a waste, urine, into a valuable product, fertilizer. And why we do that is we want to recapture the nutrients within this REWAISE project so that we can better use them within our society. And this is demonstration unit number 1, where we're sitting at REWAISE's head office in Malmö. And what we do is we take the urine and use a urine diverting toilet to capture the urine separately from everything else. And we stabilize it, and with heat and ventilation, we actually convert it into a dry product. So we use an innovative design that is able to use surface tension to capture the urine separately from the feces and the flush water by capturing it through here. And what happens is, in this very toilet, the urine goes directly underneath. It's chemically stabilized. We have heat and ventilation coming through so that what we get out is a product that is more concentrated. We remove 97% of the water, and then it's easier to store, transport, and apply as a fertilizer.
So, Henrik, today the REWAISE Consortium gathered in Malmö, and we have seen a number of smart and circular solutions implemented in real life, and I have found them myself very interesting, like the parking place in Sege Park, where we have seen that it is harvesting rainwater to be used to water the plants that cover the parking plots, and also the toilet that is here at the headquarters and is where is recovering urine, and that is becoming fertilizers. So is this part of the real water industry? And
what we're moving towards is trying to, well, adapt to a world where also the customers have more demands on us as water industries. And I also believe that they want to participate in the transition of other world towards a more sustainable world. And I've seen throughout my career that this is getting a stronger movement, and I think what we're trying to capture in the REWAISE project from our point of view is actually lifestyles. People want to for example, greener cities, which will help in many ways, in different ways, like a greener city will create a better climate, urban heating, etc. But it will also make citizens more well, part of the everyday life in relation to typical service providers.